you can't get yourself out the door and run for the first 5 minutes, you're never going to start running. All right, so I went from running 0 kilometers to running over 1,000 kilometers in just under 5 months. And what I found was running is hard. It's very difficult. And even right now, after having 5 months of running under my belt and going from a 29-minute 5 kilometer to just under a 22-minute 5 kilometer, and bringing my VO2 max from 41 to 52, as per my Garmin, running is still hard. And there's nothing that's really going to change that until you get into the groove of being in these states of discomfort and you start to get used to what discomfort looks like. Now, every single morning when I wake up, I have aches and pains. Even I think I have something called metatarsalgia, which is something in kind of the ball of your foot. It's very uncomfortable and it's not fun. I put my shoes on and it's sore when I run. I oftentimes have hip pain and joint pain, but it's not so debilitating that I can't go out and kind of push myself through, an easy or a moderate effort run. So I wanted to share that because everyone that I talk to has this idea that I have no aches, no pains. I can get up and I can just run 10K, 20K, and it's so easy for me, but it's not easy at all. There's so many things that go through my mind when I'm running, like quitting. 1 kilometer in, I might feel my stomach feels a little bit uncomfortable and I want to quit. I have a planned 21-kilometer run and I'm just suffering for the entire time. So let's call it that's my superpower, but I can push through these levels of pain and discomfort because I've built that muscle in my brain from continued, consistent running on a weekly basis. Now, when we talk about I went from 0 to running 55 kilometers a week, I did a lot of that on the treadmill indoor, and I would put a movie on and I would just run for, lengths of time. And that would make it a lot easier for my mind. I wouldn't have to think too much about it. And it would also be a lot easier on my joints. So if you want to start running and you want to get to the point where you're running, let's say, 20, 30 kilometers a week, which is very respectable, you're going to have to start small and build up. Now, when it comes to running, you want to do things that are sustainable. And if you're always running at an 8 or 9 out of 10 effort, you're going to injure yourself likely. And every run's going to feel absolutely brutal. So you're going to have to back off and make sure that you're kind of following this 80-20 rule that's well known on the internet, where 80% of your workouts are going to be about 3 or 4 out of 10 effort or zone 2. And only once a week, so 20% more or less of your workouts are going to be 8 or 9 out of 10 effort, maybe even 10 out of 10 effort. And what that's going to do is that's going to give you the ability to run a lot of volume per week without giving you very, very high percent chance of injuring yourself. Now, if you're running your mileage, your regular mileage, and you're feeling good and you're resting good, and it's a speed day, and speed day meaning that you're going to do that, 9 to 10 out of 10 effort, you're going to have a better workout. You're likely not going to injure yourself, and you're going to know that that's done over the course of the week. You've completed that one really hard run, and you're going to go in to the next portion of the week, and you have 3 or 4 or 5 very easy runs to complete. And running will end up being kind of like walking in a sense. Like if I asked you this, could you walk every single day? I'm pretty sure you could say yes, right? Everyone can. So when you run at such a low effort that you could do it every single day, that is going to build a very, very good base aerobically and also for your joints and tendons to support your really high effort days, which is only 20% of the time, and give you the ability to recover from those high interval days or high effort days so that you can continue to do them consistently week over week. Now, once you become more experienced at running, and this is tough for me to say because I've only been running for 5 months, but I would consider based on the amount of volume, research, and everything that I've done for myself, and also the fitness level that I've started at and where I'm at now, I think that it's fair to say that I've been injury free and I've also completed a significant amount of kilometers. And my personal bests are, I would say they're good for kind of average people, but they're not good enough for me yet because I have very, very large goals that I want to reach. And now I'm 5'7", just under 200 pounds. I would say, now because of my fitness journey, I'm around 13 to 14% body fat. Running isn't easy for me at certain paces either. It's actually quite difficult for me to run at the speeds that I want to. Now, you look at these professional athletes that are running, 230 minutes per kilometer for upwards of 10 kilometers. Obviously, the world record, I think, is something like a 234 for 10 kilometers. That's insane. But those are goals that I look at and I want to reach. And I look at the form, the training style, the nutrition, that these Olympians are doing and performing. And I think that setting a really high standard for myself is what got me to my current fitness level. Now, if you're just a person that wants to get out, get some exercise, start to enjoy running, then all you need to do is you need to make sure your nutrition is better than average. So cut out the processed foods and start eating single ingredient whole foods. That'll clear your system of toxins and you won't feel so bad after you complete a run. Next thing is you're gonna need to get some gear. And the only gear you really need are some good socks that have some cushioning, and any discount clearance shoe that has it. Let's make sure you get a running shoe. So go to a running store. It doesn't have to be a $500 shoe, but even $80 if it's on sale, $90, $150, whatever you can afford. Something soft with a lot of cushion, something that's lightweight, and expect them to get dirty because you're gonna want to run on trails. You might run, in mud. It might be raining, so just expect them to get dirty. The next thing after that is you just have to get out the door. I know it's easier said than done, but if you can't get yourself out the door and run for the first 5 minutes, you're never going to start running. So say your fitness level is you can't run for more than 5 minutes. That's fine because everyone has their starting point, or even if it's 2 minutes or 1 minute. But you have to get out the door and start a really, really light jog and just get yourself kind of going and get the momentum going. And then from there, even if you wanted to quit, at least you got out the door and you completed whatever minimum effort that you were able to do. So get yourself out the door, change your scenery a little bit, maybe drive to the track, go to a trail, get on some gravel, or go to the beach if you're near a beach, or go into the mountains, but just change it up a little bit so it makes it nice and easy for you to have like a new fresh look when you're out there, and there's other things to look at, especially when you're running at these low efforts, the 80% of your workouts being low efforts. You can look at the trees, you can see the weather, you can, maybe you can chat with someone else that's running with you. It becomes a lot easier to do that. After that, you got to make sure that you're recovering. So recovery is mainly sleep and nutrition. So we talked about nutrition a little bit earlier, but single ingredient whole foods, making sure that you're having easily digestible carbohydrates about 30 minutes to an hour before your run, oatmeal, bread, something super easy, light on your stomach. So when you go out there, you don't cramp up, but you're actually getting the nutrients from the carbohydrates to keep you running. And also sleep. So now you might be parents, just like myself, father of 3. You might have night shift, you might have day shift, you might have some sleeping problems. Everyone has their own different things that they're dealing with. But ultimately, try your best to get yourself as much sleep, as much rest as possible every single night so that your workouts are well fueled with nutrition and recovery. And you can start to be more consistent with your runs. Now, if you go on your first run and your legs are sore and your arms, everything is sore, the only thing that's going to get you unsore is by proper nutrition and proper rest. So keep that in mind. Everyone is going to have different struggles with their sleep or times and anything like that, or maybe, struggles in life in general. But in order to be successful and start to run more often is to make sure you have good nutrition and good recovery. The last thing is consistency. So if you're not consistently going out at the bare minimum once a week to perform your runs, you are likely not going to continue doing them, and you won't start to enjoy running as much because every single run is going to be just as hard as the last one. And that's when it becomes very difficult mentally to push yourself on a regular basis to get out and perform your workouts. So be consistent, set a bit of a schedule, make it fun. Maybe go run out with a friend or find the scenery that you like the best to enjoy yourself. And if you can, get yourself a device. I use a Garmin, but there's Chronos or Coros, I forget what it's called, Fitbit, Apple Watch, Samsung, anything like that that'll help you track your activities, because it's kind of like a video game at the point where you've run for 3 days in a row and you're actually, you're a little bit sore and you didn't sleep so well, but you look at your watch and you look at your phone and it's, I don't want to ruin my streak. So I'm going to go out there, I'm going to do a nice easy run. And then when you, on the other end of that, when you don't run for a couple days, you can look and be like, oh man, I had a 4-day streak and now, I got to get back on this wagon, right? So it's just something to keep you going. But remember that running has multiple benefits, that is not just being able to run a faster 5K or be able to run a half marathon or marathon or ultra marathon, but also when you're out running, there is this feeling that you get of accomplishment, that you've completed something very difficult. And it's really good for you to put yourself in these tough situations where, you don't want to be there. Everything hurts. It's all, it's raining maybe, or it's dark outside, or your legs hurt or whatever. You're not going to die out there, right? So putting yourself in these uncomfortable positions and building up a bit of discipline and mental strength is always going to be good for you. I mean, the cardiovascular benefits, the longevity benefits you get from running, and just the ability, if someone asks you, hey, John, hey, Jane, hey, let's go for a run, 5K run. Okay, that's fine. You throw on your stuff and you go for a nice run. You get to enjoy some time with your friends. If someone wants to go for a hike, or, if you go on vacation and there's some zip lining and you have to climb up the mountains a bit to get up there, there's just so many benefits to running that kind of, there are things that aren't straightforward benefits that you get from it. I mean, today, for example, I've been, running a lot lately and strengthening my joints and everything. I ran around some kids on the trail and I rolled my right ankle. I was going, a pretty decent speed, and I just kind of bounced back and kept running. And there was a little bit of soreness in my ankle, but probably for about a minute, and then it was gone. So I think just getting out there, running more consistently, being active strengthens everything that you have in your legs, in your core, in your body, and in your mind. That even something as simple as rolling your ankle might not be, it might not end your day, for example, if you run on a regular basis, since you have some strong joints, you have a strong mental, and you're used to some discomfort over some time. And then, we know about recovery, so we recover and you're good to go. So it doesn't ruin your entire day or put you out for 4 months or 6 months just by rolling your ankle. So, anyway, I hope you found the video intriguing. I hope you enjoyed the video, the narrative. Feel free to like and comment and subscribe. And I'll have some more running content for you coming up soon, maybe talking about VO2 max, how to increase that, how to increase your speeds in general, and maybe some more analytical, research-based information on running and how I was able to go from 0 to 1,000 kilometers in just 5 months, and how I was able to increase my VO2 max by 11 points in 5 months. It's going to be pretty good stuff. So stay tuned for another video, and I appreciate you watching.